You think they'll just suddenly give up?
Well, of course.
On this episode of Old Joe's Reminiscence, the Starlost discover a biosphere where brain implants enhance intelligence. Donnelly Rhodes guest stars. The Starlost episode, The Implant People, originally aired on CTV on December 8th, 1973. Something about the title makes me think that this one will bring back some repressed memories. It's just a feeling I'm getting. I don't know why. Good or bad? That's the question. I see from checking IMDb that John Meredith Lucas of Star Trek fame was an uncredited writer for this episode. That's rather encouraging, I think. Because he's uncredited, he might merely have been asked to take a stab at fixing a script that wasn't working. I guess we'll have to implant ourselves in our seats to find out. If you haven't watched the episode, you might want to do so now, because the spoilers will be plentiful as we encounter Earthship Arcs, the Implant People. When an episode opens with a long, lingering shot of the Ark, I usually figure there wasn't enough material written in the script to fill an hour. Garth is sitting up while Devon and Rachel are trying to catch a few Z's. He's grumpier than usual, complaining about where Devon has brought them on his never-ending quest to locate the backup bridge.
Blocked up tunnel, maybe the way to the backup bridge. More likely the way to an early grave.
Oh, Garth, go to sleep.
Someone, a child, is watching them from the shadows. He's Jeff Toner in his second and last role as a child actor. The kid crawls over and snatches Garth's crossbow. Garth puts up a fight, but he loses. How'd he get that back anyway? It was taken from him in Manchester, and I don't recall him having it at all in the Astromedics episode. Garth chases the kid through some debris and into the ductwork. That leads him to what appears to be some sort of laboratory or control room. Garth's appearance seems to frighten the people who are there. These folks, in their green lab coat-looking garments, seem to think he's one of Roloff's guards, whoever Roloff is. The man questioning Garth is Irish-born Leo Layden. He'd performed in about 45 television and film productions during his decades-long acting career.
Who are you?
My name is Garth. I come from...
Garth seems to be about to tell them that he's from Cypress Corners, but he decides against that. No sense in being ridiculed again, right?
Please, you can assure Roloff that we're simply going about our everyday duties.
Look, I already told you I don't know this Roloff, and I'm not his guard.
The man tells the other two uncredited assistants to find Devon and Rachel.
Sooner or later we must trust someone. Maybe now is the time.
Who are you people? What are those things in your heads?
We're the Implant People.
Dun, dun, dun! They built another obvious tabletop miniature for this dome's establishing shot. We linger there before cutting to an interior shot of a man whose brown outfit reminds me of a Franciscan. He's Damal, played by Canadian Dino Narizano, who's best known for his portrayal of Dr. Len Whiting on more than 400 episodes of Search for Tomorrow. He's being questioned by a woman dressed in yellow. She is Serena, being played by Pat Collins. She had scores of appearances under her belt during her career. Another man in a darker brown outfit stands in the background.
My information is that there's been undue debate on relatively simple matters of business. Surely all that's called for is a simple vote on the issues as they're presented.
He is this episode's guest star, Donnelly Rhodes, as Roloff.
Donnelly Rhodes was born in Winnipeg on December 4, 1936. He was a member of the Royal Canadian Air Force before settling into an acting career, possibly prompted because his mother was a playwright. He was successful on stage, which led to a contract with Universal Pictures in Hollywood. Among his scores of roles, he is remembered as Philip Chandler Sr. on The Young and the Restless. Not wanting to be stuck in one role, he decided to move on. He later played Dutch on 38 episodes of soap from 1978 through 1980. He returned to Canada to appear as Doc Roberts in 122 episodes of Danger Bay. From that time forward he maintained homes in LA as well as Vancouver. He was Detective Shannon in Da Vinci's Inquest. He auditioned for the role of Colonel Ty in the 2004 remake of Battlestar Galactica. He didn't get the part, but he was chosen to portray the grumpy Dr. Cottle, a recurring role that kept him busy during 37 episodes throughout all 4 seasons of that production. Donnelly Rhodes died in Canada on January 8, 2018 at the age of 81.
I never would have guessed that he was the same man who'd played the cigarette-smoking physician, Dr. Cottle, on the 2000s Battlestar Galactica remake. But there was a 30-year difference between those two roles.
Most of our time is devoted to the manufacture of the implants. It's a slow, delicate business and leaves us little time for scientific research in other fields.
And these things that you implant, they help you to function better?
That's their principal function, yes.
Professor Brandt is telling Devon all about his implant. Well, maybe not all, because Rachel asks if they do something else, and the professor gets mighty defensive.
No. The implants are stimulators. They make the brain function at maximum efficiency.
You all seem to be afraid. Why?
Well, it's hard to know where things started to go wrong.
Meanwhile, Roloff is giving Serena a massage.
Sometimes I don't know anymore what the right thing is. Lorenz always knew.
I was expecting it to get sensual until she mentioned her husband.
I wish you'd take my advice and have an implant. You'd function far better with less tension and worry.
No. Not until all the other people have had implants.
Back at the lab, Professor Brandt says that Serena is inaccessible to them, but...
You might be able to get an audience with her.
So now I'm imagining that Devon is going to go and try to tell Serena how to rule her biosphere.
Don't resist. Go peaceably, please.
Now, wait a minute. Wait a minute, Garth. We don't know what those weapons can do. You ask our help, then you do this?
We didn't ask your help. We don't need your help.
We cut to Roloff's office.
You've seen nothing for yourselves. You're basing all your judgments on what Professor Brandt told you.
And the way I see it, there are usually 2 sides of every story, and somewhere in the middle must lie the truth. Roloff arranges an audience with Serena for their visitors. He says that he can't help with the Ark's collision course problem, since he has no knowledge of propulsion, but he offers to implant the 3. Maybe that will help. It sounds intriguing, but dangerous.
Just think about it. In the meantime, there's a guard just outside the door who'll show you to Serena's chambers.
After they've gone, he crosses the room to a secret compartment. Now, what's that device he's hiding, I wonder? Whatever it is, I'm sure it's something sinister. Act 2 begins with another lengthy shot of the Ark and that tabletop miniature mock-up of the biosphere.
My husband's greatest dream was for the people of this biosphere to live their lives in peace and with purpose.
And you may be very close to realizing that dream?
Yes. And I have Roloff to thank for much of the progress we've made here.
Because some people seem to be afraid of him.
Afraid of Roloff?
While Serena expounds on her myopic view of what's going on in her biosphere, Roloff pays a visit to Professor Brandt.
Oh, please, don't do it. I'm sorry. It won't happen again. Please!
I'm sure it won't, Brent.
Then Roloff goes to the council chamber where he arrests the council members and uses his remote pain trigger on Dumal.
Monsieur Dumas should have a little token of our esteem in appreciation for his past services to Serena.
In heaven's name, Roloff, have pity.
We cut to Devon and Garth discussing whether or not Devon should get an implant to advance his intelligence, so he might be able to repair the Ark.
I don't like this, Devon.
Why?
The whole idea of implanting something in your head. I mean, we just don't know what it'll do.
Well, from what Roloff and Serena said, it could make a great difference about my ability to be able to figure out the Ark's problems.
I don't know. I think we should talk to Professor Brandt first.
I'm afraid the council's taken upon itself to dissolve.
Then he tells her more lies to get her to work with him in his scheme. Rachel quickly chimes in.
Well, you can count on us.
How could she be so trusting after all the corruption and infighting she's seen in so many of the other domes? Serena concedes that she has no choice but to get an implant. Roloff takes Devon and Garth to get their implants first, vowing to return for the women.
Who's to be the first?
What about you, Roloff?
While they're waiting for the professor to get an implant for Roloff, that kid who stole Garth's crossbow pops up. He motions to Garth to follow him. Somehow, nobody seems to notice as Garth sneaks away and climbs down a ladder into an access panel. Wasn't that guard supposed to be watching him?
All right, where's my crossbow? Where's the other one? Brandt?
I don't know. I didn't see.
Go find it, quick. Get that one in the chair. Well, Professor, we have a new patient. I'm sure you won't mind performing your little operation on him instead of me. Did you really think that I was going to let you implant this treacherous little device on my head?
While the professor appears to pour an implant into Devon's head from a 1-gallon tin can, Garth is led to the room where Dumal and the uncredited council members are being held.
Welcome, Garth.
Who are you people?
My name is Dumal, President of the Council. Or rather, past President, since Roloff dissolved our legislative body.
He said you dissolved it yourselves.
A lie.
Dumal tells Garth that what Roloff had told him is a lie. He explains that in an effort to help the mute boy, Brandt had developed an implant that stimulated the brain's functions. That implant has now been weaponized and Roloff uses it to control people.
Your friend is in great danger. We need to get these implants out of our heads and destroy Roloff.
Welcome, Devon, to the Implant People.
We're back in Act 3. Devon is antagonizing Roloff.
Devon, please don't antagonize him.
Now that's useful advice. I'd take it if I were you.
Why, Roloff? Why me? Why did you implant me? I didn't threaten you.
Because I'm evil and corrupt. You're not an idiot, Devon. Think, why have anybody implanted? Because it's a means of control. Total control, and that means power.
You managed to maintain power over Serena without an implant?
I'm getting really tired of angry Devon appearing in episode after episode. Meanwhile, Rachel is getting antsy.
Where are they, Serena?
I have every confidence in Roloff. He knows what he's doing.
Look, I'm gonna have to go and look for them.
It could be dangerous. Dumal and the others are out there. And from what Roloff says, they're capable of anything. Oh, I wish you'd stay here with me.
Listen, you'll be safe here. If I see anything that looks like trouble, I'll come right back.
But please be careful, Rachel. And if you can't find Devon or Garth, look for Roloff. Stay close with him and you'll be safe.
I will. Well, now, can you tell me how to get to the implant center from here?
Serena shows her a diagram of how to get to the implant center.
This is where we are. And this is the implant center.
We cut back to Roloff. He's threatening Devon.
Ah, Devon. I see what it is. You haven't yet had the pleasure of your pain.
I've known pain before.
Never like this.
Roloff! At this point, I wondered why that guard didn't just stun him. Is he the same one who'd let him wander off before? I'm too disinterested to go back and check at this point.
Touch that, I'll put this right through you.
I think Devon would prefer it, Garth, if you dropped your crossbow. Otherwise, I'll take his head off.
Roloff, while I was implanting Devon, I had 2 implants in my hand. I removed the main circuit from one of them. So if you'll examine the one in your hand, you'll find that it's complete.
Oh well, Roloff hits the button to punish Brandt instead. Devon takes out the guard, but Roloff gets the upper hand on Garth. That's twice. First the kid, and now Roloff. Garth's slipping.
Professor, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, it's stopping.
Come on, we're gonna get out of here. The others are waiting.
What others?
We seem to be right in the middle of an uprising.
Professor, can you walk?
Yes, I think so.
Professor, I must thank you. You took a great risk in planting me with a detective with a device.
But I didn't. That was a lie. We must remove your implant and all the others.
They've got to work fast to remove those implants. The 3 of them disappeared down the tunnel. And just then, Rachel walks in to find the empty lab.
Devon? Garth! Roloff!
We then cut to the professor removing an implant.
There. At last.
That leaves it to Devon to use his expert knowledge of electronics, yeah right, to remove the professor's implant.
All right, Professor. It's your turn now.
At long last. You're sure you understand how it's done?
Yes, I think so, Professor.
Oh, wait. Jardy should be done before me. Jardy?
He's not here, Brent.
I'll find him.
If anything's happened to the boy, I'll kill Roloff.
Professor, Garth will find him. Now we have to get that implant out.
But I thought only the elite got implants. Jardy is living in poverty. He's off exploring Roloff's office. We cut to Serena, who's finally run out of patience. She works up the courage to leave her chamber. Back at Roloff's office, he walks in on Jardy.
Well, hello, Jardy. This is a nice surprise, isn't it? You know what that is, Jardy? You ought to. You've been in and out of there enough times, like a little sewer rat.
He details his evil plans to the mute boy because all evil masterminds have to brag about their nefarious intentions, don't you know?
This is a map so that I keep track of all my enemies' movements. And this is where they gather to concoct their little plans against me. And this is a little device with which I can set off an explosive charge that will get rid of them once and for all. And with them out of the way, I can get rid of Serena. Quietly. And permanently.
Unfortunately, Serena is in the doorway and she hears it all.
You sure you can do it quietly, Roloff? What a fool I've been.
A fool? No, Serena. You've been a good and dutiful monarch, but negligent.
Yes, I can see that. And this child. Are all of my people this wretched?
Most.
I trusted you. And you betrayed me.
I didn't betray you, Serena. You betrayed yourself, sitting locked away from your people in your silly little chamber writing your legislation. Do you think I would miss the opportunity to grab power for myself? You never had a chance of getting any of that legislation passed.
Then the council didn't obstruct me. It was you.
The council? The council was nothing more than a bubble, a sham to keep you amused. They haven't passed any legislation in years.
We cut to Devon and the council plotting against Roloff.
It's difficult to say where Roloff might be. In his chambers, Serena's, or even in the guards' barracks.
All right, now which do you think is the most likely?
Oh, you can't second-guess a man like Roloff. He doesn't follow normal behavior patterns. He's a psychotic personality and very dangerous.
Well, if he's guards with him, we can't split our small force. On the other hand, if he's barricaded himself in his own quarters or in Serena's, then I think we might be able to take him.
Well, there's every possibility that he may use Serena as a hostage.
Or Rachel.
Devon, you and your friends are strangers here. We should never have involved you in this. It's not your fight.
Back to Roloff's office, where he and Serena discuss the situation.
Serena, you really did believe in Brandt's little brain stimulator, didn't you? That little device died a long time ago, like your precious Lorenz. This little device does something quite different. It brings a man to his knees. It delivers a pain so exquisitely unbearable that I can't begin to describe it to you, and you in your wildest dreams couldn't begin to imagine it. But then you don't have wild dreams, do you, Serena? They're probably all serene, like your name. Well, I can promise you, there won't be any more.
What are you?
Be careful, Serena.
I'm not frightened of you, Roloff.
Jardy, come here, boy. Come on. Look at your queen, Jardy. You see, she's the last of her line.
Leave the child alone!
He goes to his grandfather, the professor.
Jardy, are you all right, boy? What is it, Jardy?
Explosion? Down here? Jardy, where'd you get this? Roloff.
We open Act 4 with Garth entering Roloff's office, still looking for Jardy. We cut back to the lab. The rest of the cast climbs out of the cabinet. Devon tells Jardy to find Garth and to tell him certain things. The kid is a mute. How's he supposed to tell anyone anything? Next, Rachel enters Roloff's office. Finding no one there, she returns to Serena's chamber.
Serena, where are you?
Here I am, Rachel. We've been waiting for you. So has Serena.
Jardy finds Garth, and they play 20 questions to figure out that Rachel and Serena are in trouble.
Come on, show me where they are.
Roloff really should think about installing a lock. It's like Grand Central Station in there. Meanwhile, Jardy leads Garth to Serena's chamber. He somehow has a key to get in. He probably stole it. Garth tells the kid to get lost, and he enters the chamber.
Roloff. Are you prepared to use that against me? If I have to.
He threatens to put an arrow right through Roloff, but...
Jardy, why didn't you go?
We should have seen that one coming.
Your uprising is over. Serena's my hostage, Dumal. Serena is my hostage. Rachel and Garth are here too, Devon. I have your friends here. And Brent, little Jardy is my guest too.
Devon, we're in Serena's chamber!
Devon goes running, but he can't get into Serena's chamber. His key doesn't work on this door. Jardy crawls over and touches that green egg crate material that opens the door. They all rush in and they capture Roloff. Our three are free to go on with their quest to save the Ark while Roloff stands trial.
No more implants, not even for Roloff.
Well, that didn't bring back any memories the way I thought it might. And once again, we're no closer to finding the backup bridge. Those miniatures seem to be getting worse as we go, but at least they're not relying on those terrible blue screen shots quite as much as before. I really don't have much more to say about this one. It was different, but not one of the better episodes. Make sure to tune in next time as Walter Koenig returns as Oro. I'm looking forward to that one. In the meantime, remember to like, subscribe, and comment, and be sure to join me for another reminiscence of The Starlost.